Welcome back to another episode of the Actionable Alignment Podcast. I'm your host, Zoe Jett Black Lee, and today we are going to get all down to business with things habits and lifestyle architecture. Now, if you've been following along, then our last topic that we were discussing was female health and hormonal intelligence. Then we had a little bit of a break with a special guest, which, guys, I don't know if you could tell how much I was keeping my cool last week. Speaking with someone who is just such a genius and so passionate about their field and passionate about educating other people on health. And I just think it is so wonderful. So I am so grateful that we got to have Jake back. This is our second episode that we've done with Jake. The first one that we did was on hypertrophy, so like muscle building. Today, we're going to be discussing all things habits. I'm going to be starting with habit systems and weekly structures. Now, this is a really important thing because whether or not you are someone who is more like type A or type B, or you prefer to go with the flow, I don't give a fuck about your flow right now. What I care about is whether you set the intention to do something and then you follow through, because it is that story that when you tell yourself, hey, I am this person who does XYZ, and you follow through with that, it builds up this identity that I am a woman who moves with integrity. And that is super important because these days, guys, I cannot tell you how many, and like I used to be a bit of a people pleaser. I used to lie to get my way around things. I used to think that I need to lie to get people to feel, an element of like sorry for me. And then I realized that if I wanted to truly become better, then the only person who was going to fucking do it is me. There's a beautiful saying that I was talking about to one of my beautiful clients, shout out Nora, this week, unless it wasn't Nora and it was someone else, but I think it was. And we were discussing the adage, you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make it drink. And it's so true that we can teach our clients all these things and you can read all of these things. You know where the water is, but to drink, it is a repeatable action of saying, I deserve the water, right? I deserve this life that I'm building. But also it is a repeatable behavior and action and habit that then starts to become a part of who you are and your identity. So there's a really beautiful quote by Aristotle, and it was so funny because what did I call him? Aristotle. I can't remember, but it was so wrong. It was hilarious, but excellence. I believe the quote is here. We are what we repeatedly do. Excellence then is not an act, but a habit. We always think that it'll be this last 6-week challenge that we do. It'll be this last, intensive mentorship that we do. And then we'll hit the $1 million or the $10 million or the $100 million mark with our business. And it's these things where ultimately it is not one great hero act that allows you to actually create the life that you want to create, but a series of small micro hero acts that no one else sees but you. And this is where, when it comes to habit forming, it is the things that you do when no one else is around. And when it comes to forming habits, we have a similar structure to the last block that we did, where the first question is, what have I figured out that I think others would find useful? And this is that when you plan your week, you are 80% more likely to stick to and achieve what you set out to, but it also helps to create the understanding of how long something will actually take to do. Now, this is something where we have two problems that we're typically navigating when it comes to being a woman or a man of integrity. And that is doing the thing that you said you would do and not having too much on your plate that you can actually do the thing. You want to be able to, as much as you can, be able to give from a sense of energetic overflow. And that beautiful energetic sense of overflow comes from a little bit of belief in yourself and a little bit of filling up your own cup. So there's a few moving parts here in our little kaleidoscope of habit formation that I really want to simplify down for you. And that is, number one, when you plan out your day, you time block and you dedicate how long each task will take. Over the course of the next 2 to 4 weeks of doing this on your calendar, you will start to see this as a bit of an audit of where your time is actually spent. And this is really important because if you think, I can complete all of the programs that I need to in the next 2 hours, and so this is me talking to me, I can complete all the programs that I need to in the next 2 hours, I can do that and I can lock in for 2 hours. But if I tell myself instead, I have 6 programs to write and I'm going to just focus today on programs, make sure I get them done, you best believe it can take me 6 hours to write the same 6 programs that it really takes me about 2 hours to do instead. Now, a similar sort of thing is I don't have time to meal prep, or meal prep takes so long. And it's like, yes, meal prep takes a period of time, but if you say, I'm going to dedicate an hour to meal prep and it takes you 90 minutes, and then you go, okay, next week I'm going to dedicate 90 minutes and it takes you an hour. And then the next week you say, okay, I'm going to dedicate 75 minutes and it takes you 90 minutes. You can confidently say that on your little monthly rotation, meal prep, you're probably going to just want to dedicate 90 minutes to in general. And if you finish early, amazing. But this is where you start to see that, hey, I can poke holes in how long it takes me to do things and then make a more accurate representation of, hey, let's get this done. So what I like to practice with my calendar to make it really simple is I like to make things recurring. And what people say is they're like, but not every day is the same. And I'm like, it doesn't have to be the same. But the point is that you can actually drag and drop. So there's this really cool feature on your calendar where you can drag and drop and move things around based off of the things that you've got on the day. So my recurring calendar looks something, I'm going to knock my phone over in a minute, like this. And so with this sort of a thing, I can drag and drop, I can change the time, and it makes it really, really, really easy for me to then see, okay, this is my day. The realistic pocket of time I have to do X, Y, Z is this pocket here. Then I know instead of I've got to go grocery shopping after work today or when my calls finish or when I have a break. And so for you, if you work corporate or in the city a couple of days a week and you finish, you wrap up at 5, you know, you've got to go to the gym and you've got to go to the grocery store. It's like, oh, it's so overwhelming. So you do neither. And this is where it becomes super powerful to say, well, no, in my calendar, I've physically written down that after work, so 15 minutes later, I'm going to be out the door and I'm going grocery shopping. Okay, I already have my list because I'm someone who, when I'm in the shops, I'm not going to fluff around and be like, oh, look at that food, because I don't have the time to. Okay, so something like that where you can then wrap up with your grocery shop, drop it off at home, head to the gym. You know, you've got, by the time you get to the gym, you might have a 30 or 45 minute session. It might not be your full session, but you can say, hey, 30 to 45 minutes is enough time to get 3 or 4 really good exercises done. I don't know about you, but I hear a lot from people that their programs take them a long time to complete. It also can take me about 90 minutes to complete my leg days, but if I am not effing around, it takes me 45 minutes. So when it comes to going in and thinking, okay, my workout's going to take me this long, so I'm not going to go, what's the point? Instead, I challenge you to set a timer on your phone. I really love this countdown timer. So if I've only got 45 minutes in the gym, I set that countdown timer. And then I'm buzzing about and I'm constantly checking it. I'm like, okay, there's 30 minutes left, that's fine. And then there's 20 minutes left, that's fine. And then you get to the point and there's 15 minutes left and you've got 2 exercises and you're like, am I about to finish my workout? What the hell am I doing that's making this take 75 to 90 minutes on a day where I'm not rushing? So this is by simply being more intentional with your time. You start to also allocate time to focus on particular tasks. As humans, even though as women, our left and our right hemisphere can very easily communicate with each other in comparison to most males. I'm not going to generalize all, but we tend to be able to think about a million different things at once, going back and forth. And so it can get really confusing and draining, but we can really simplify it if we say, hey, this is my time where I'm doing this. And I don't know if you've ever spoken to a lot of males as well, but like my partner, when he's doing one thing, he's doing one thing. If you say, can you do the dishes? Like he will do the dishes. You say, can you do this? He will do this, but be specific. If I say, hey, can you clean the house? He'll be like, okay, clean the house. So that is do the dishes, and he will section it out. And then that is do like wipe the countertop. He will section it out and go through it, because then it allows you to tick things off in some sort of an order where you can end up feeling quite on the ball with things. It doesn't mean we always nail it, okay? I don't know about you, but sometimes I feel like I need a leash to hold me to the dishwasher while I'm stacking it. Otherwise, I'm going to end up walking away. So it's not about perfect execution and it's not about perfect focus, but it's instead about intentionality and time allocation that can shave hours off your week so you can get so much more done, feel so much more productive and locked in. And the knock-on effect that has in 1 week, you'll be feeling more clear and level-headed with a bit more of an understanding of how long it takes you to do things. In 4 weeks, if you are a coach, you will have probably added 3 or 4 clients to your database and to your community, your network, simply by opening up the time and delegating the right amount of time to reach out to people on Instagram, to make that educational content, to nurture those leads, those sorts of things. Where previously you said, I'll do it later. And there's 2 things of in time, two concepts of time that don't really exist, and that's later and tomorrow. So fucking do it now, okay? That's how I like to think, because that, again, when it comes to delegating, if I'm doing it later, when? When later? Later don't exist. When later? I want to know, is it 3 p.m. on Tuesday? Again, the beautiful thing about a calendar looked in front of you, wow, is you can see how the week pans out. And you can see what needs to be changed and what needs to be moved around. And if stuff comes up, you can push things to a later date. That's the really cool thing, guys. You actually, when you make your calendar entries, you can also, if you don't get the thing done because your girlfriend calls you, she needs a lift, or someone needs you to pick up their kid, like whatever it is, you can say, okay, hey, I didn't get that thing done on Tuesday that I wanted to get done. So let's drag and drop this to the next availability where I can do that thing on Thursday afternoon. Crazy. Next is what excites me. And if you can't tell, by the way, I get a little bit gassed up. It's the power of how much time you actually have and how much you can actually achieve with the follow through. Again, it takes 5 to 10 minutes to lock into a task, but with the power of AI that we can use it to our advantage as a tool to simplify particular things and to even give you a starting point. If you're feeling overwhelmed and you can't make that decision, this can mitigate some decision fatigue and allow you to create more work with less procrastination. Now, I don't know about you guys, but one of my favorite things when you're having not a disagreement, not a conflict, but so say you're trying to pick where to go to dinner. You know, the easiest way to pick where to go to dinner, I don't know. Say 2 options, okay? I guarantee you. So where do you want to go for dinner? Oh, I don't know. Italian or what's another one? Italian or Japanese? I sort of feel like barbecue. Done. Okay, barbecue. Bang. Okay, ever ask a woman like, hey, can you guess my favorite restaurant? Or like you say, say to your girlfriend, say to your fiance, your wife, whatever, say to your woman, I'm taking you to your favorite restaurant. And she says, ooh, which one is that? And you go, okay, it's going to be Mexican or Italian. What do you think? And she'll be like, are we going to here? And usually drop a place where you go, hell yeah, we're going to there, or we're going somewhere near it. Or she'll say, we're going to the Italian one. And you'd be like, cool, let's go to a random Italian one. Like, when it comes to being intentional with follow through and simplifying your decision processes, this is where you don't have to make you do have to make all of the exact decisions, actually. I take that back. In your life, you should. However, knowing where to start, it is so easy to punch in. This is feeling really overwhelming. I have all these to do today. Just give me a starting point. Because the funny thing is the same way that you will ask your woman where she wants to eat. She'll say she doesn't know. And then you'll say, why don't you start, like, let's go to Mexican. She'll be like, oh, I don't want Mexican. What do you feel like instead? Something fresh. Good, we're getting closer. The same way that if you say to your little AI, your little Claude or your ChatGPT, hey, what task should I start on? And your Claude says, you should start on the dishes. And you go, fuck that. I'm starting on the laundry instead. Or you should outreach on Instagram. And you're like, fuck that. I'm going to do this thing on my website instead. Boom. Start the time allocation. So break up. Okay, I'm going to spend 30 minutes on my website. Then I'm going to do 10 minutes of outreach on Instagram. Like, it is so easy sometimes to mitigate decision fatigue. We can simply say, I need to do all of this in the next hour. Tell me what to start with first. And that is something that you have at your fingertips. But otherwise, often what happens is we sit there and we ruminate over, well, if I start this, will I have enough time for this? Will I do this? Will I do this? And by process of elimination, you can make it easier to actually just get started and stop wasting time, but actually collapse time on your days, on your weeks, on your months, and achieve so many more beautiful creative things. It's insane. So with that sort of a thing, it really excites me. With a lot of people say they are busy, and we are busy. Okay, we are all busy. Okay, the shit to-do list will never be done, and that's okay. Because even though the shit to-do list may never be completed, everything may never always be ticked off there, you know, well, what am I going to do today? If I can't physically tick everything off today, where do I need to start? And if you're feeling overwhelmed, you're like, I don't know what I need to start on. And I'm sitting there on my couch, I'm couch rotting. I'm sitting there scrolling because I can't decide what task I want to start on. Or I said I'd do that one, but like, if all you go, there's 2 really simple things that you can really use the power of AI, in my opinion, because we don't listen to our friends when it comes to saying, tell me something that's going to motivate me to get off my ass and do X, Y, Z right now. How easy. Okay. Tell me something that I can remind myself of when I'm feeling so anxious that I can't fall asleep because my mind is running about all the things that I want to do tomorrow. Okay. The power of simple self-checking. and using technology to your advantage. Again, we don't need to give the AIs all our secrets. I'm with that. But in terms of simplifying, we have such busy lives. And if you live in an area where you are required to work a lot of hours just to meet the sort of amount of income that you need, and then on top of that, to continue building your beautiful life, you work more, then you're probably a really busy person, and your decision fatigue can grow quite exponentially throughout the day. It's why a lot of people exercise in the morning, because once they get to the afternoon, every excuse in the book comes up. So instead of letting time pass with ruminating and indecision, be like, okay, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, decide. And if you, under that pressure, can't decide yourself, then you can reach out. You can go 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Claude, out of these 5 tasks, what am I starting on? Claude, start on this one. You, no, I want to do this one instead. Great, start. Now, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, get up. And that's a beautiful, I want to say Mel Robbins, The 5-Second Rule. Really beautiful book. Now, my unpopular opinion, and I swear a bit. Hey, I'm trying not to swear. I'm going to say fluffing for this one. But you are wasting fluffing time if you complain that you have no time. Okay? I cannot tell you how much the busiest woman, give her a task, she will get it done. But you give a task to someone who has hours in the day and all of a sudden the time just ran out, that sort of a thing. My mentor is a fantastic example of this. He is creating something amazing with the course that we're doing. And he has our calls each week. He prepares for those calls each week with presentations. He's having one-on-one calls with people. He's having he's doing so many things. Shout out, Alex. He's doing so many things. And if I text him, and not that I don't think I've really done this or deployed this yet, but if I text him and I say, hey man, I'm really struggling. Are you free for a 5-minute call? I guarantee the man would create space within the next 24 hours to probably make that happen. And that is something where with busy people, they tend to have no choice but to organize their days better. And people who are not busy and have lots of time have poor organization throughout the days. That's why they don't get a lot of stuff done. That's my unpopular opinion. But the good thing is, if you're in the camp who keeps fluffing about, you actually don't need to stay there. And it starts with a little bit of an identity shift where it might feel like a bit of a fake it till you make it. We say, I'm someone who gets shit done. I'm someone who, when I say I'm going to do something, I do it. And you can take the nuance of that, where if you say you're going to go to the gym this afternoon, the moment you finish work, it gets to after work and you're physically ill. You've got the gym ick. You got the gym anxiety. You're I can't go in and do weights. You're okay, I'm going to move my body and go for a walk. You still did the ultimate task that you were actually trying to do. It's if you say, I'm going to clean today, then I'm going to clean today. It doesn't matter if you do the cleaning in your bedroom, cleaning in the kitchen, you still ended up doing that task. So if you say, I am someone who is going to meal prep XYZ today, and then you only meal prep one thing, just your proteins for the week, say, something like that, just your yogurt bowl for tomorrow, you still tick off that vote and that stack of evidence that you are someone who does the things that you say you're going to do. And that is powerful. But also delegating the time where you physically write it down, write it into something. Okay, because the thing where you're saying that you don't need a calendar because you can keep it in your head, when you write it into something, it is accountability. When you keep it in your head, you rid yourself of that accountability and responsibility. And instead you say, well, it happened in the abyss. Okay, I'm so done with that BS. So with that sort of a thing and navigating through that, you can be intentional. Okay, you write, great one. You write your friends' birthdays in your calendar so you don't forget them. Okay, if you don't have that many friends, how bad do you feel when you forget your best friend's birthday? Okay, I've done that so many times, and now I try and keep everyone's birthdays in the calendar. Even sometimes they're wrong, so I wish people happy birthday a week before. It's not till next week. I'm oh, what date? And then I change it. But how are you expected to remember all of these things? I get it, it's busy. So use your time wisely, because we all have 24 hours in a day. And if you are saying you're busy and you don't have time, but you also don't have dependents, so you don't have kids, I don't believe you. Shout out to my mums out there doing the fucking world, because that is where you are truly shown how much time you have, how many hours you have, when You are pulled away from it. There is no such thing as overstimulated when you are, well, there is, but when you are a mum and you're like, I'm overstimulated, I just need a break and I just need to be by myself for an hour. You don't get that luxury. Okay. So you're halfway through doing the dishes and then you got to stop doing the dishes, or you're halfway through doing a project for work and you get pulled away from that project. There is no, I couldn't focus, I didn't have time. There's, well, shit, where the hell am I going to get this done? Give a task to a busy woman and she will do it, but she should not have to. That's my views. Love my moms. They're so crazy. Now, the next one is, what do I do differently? So if you haven't been able to take on board the fact that I've been raving about a calendar, I do think that, again, putting things in the calendar is recurring. So I always have in my calendar my morning routine, which just says breathwork, stretch, feed cats, shower. 9 times out of 10, what's happening is the stretch or the feed cats, or the breathwork and the feed cats, or the feed cats, the shower, no stretch or breathwork. But that's in there every day. Okay, so I wake up same time and then walk with my love or my GF. So like walk with the girlfriend or walk with my partner. And then there's the work stuff. There's when the cleaner's coming. There's when I'm studying. There's my check-ins with clients. There's where I'm doing my exercise feedback for my clients. There's where I'm having calls with clients, which, like, I don't know if you guys sometimes see my calendar when I know my clients, sometimes I pull it up because I'm like, see, you can put in meal prep here, and then like it reminds you to do the thing. You have your phone usually in your pocket most days. Okay. If something says meal prep and you've dedicated 90 minutes to it, you can actually put your phone away for that full 90 minutes. You can put music on the speaker and then you can plug your phone in and you can have complete phone free time. Because a lot of people will say, and I think that's another objection, is, well, I don't want to keep my phone on me all the time. I don't want my phone telling me what to do. Brother, you don't tell yourself what to do, okay? So what makes you think that it's going to be any better or worse off for you by having the notification on your phone? Because I think it will be a bit better to have that second layer of accountability, third layer of accountability, telling someone. So you've got your intentionality in your calendar. That is you. That is your you story. No one is asking you to show up but you. So will you do it? Will you put that vote in that I'm someone who does what I say I'm going to do? Will you fiddle things around so you can get through the things done that you're getting through? You have a choice. And every day, and especially over your first 1 to 4 weeks, starting a calendar, if you have not started one or you have not been consistent with one, and put in all the little shit. Like, I got meal prep in there. I got change my cat's water. Got lunch in there. What else have we got? Carousel creation. Got train people's birthdays. When I'm going to recovery. Dinner with my partner. Like, we do that on a Thursday and a Saturday. My German lesson. Like, these times don't change. I have my German lesson at the same time every week. My partner and I, for over a year now, every Thursday night is our date night. It's still in my calendar. So I know, hey, when I'm looking at stuff, I don't say, that time block's free after 6:30 p.m. on a Thursday. I go, no, that's my time where if I have not switched off, I'm not going to be present. And it's the one night that we get to spend a little bit more time together, because otherwise we're bloody never seen because always working or at the gym. So with this sort of a thing, super powerful, have a calendar.